Vincent, known to his friends as Sly Vinny, was a charismatic yet unscrupulous character who prided himself on his ability to talk his way into or out of any situation. Proudly donned in a threadbare coat, a hat always slightly askew, and a grin that hinted at mischief, he roamed the chaotic streets of 18th-century Paris with a cheeky confidence only a true rogue could possess. One crisp autumn morning, as the Parisian sunlight glistened on the dew-laden cobblestones, Vincent found a letter addressed to Monsieur Pierre de la Fontaine, a name unfamiliar to him, but conspicuous by the elegant script and the scent of lavender that wafted from the envelope. Intrigued by the possibilities it might hold, he tucked it into his coat and sauntered toward the bustling market square, pondering the potential advantages of such a find. At a secluded corner of the square, where vendors hawked everything from fresh baguettes to shimmering silks, Vincent's path crossed with Margot, a sharp-eyed young pickpocket. Margot, intrigued by Vincent's confident air and the noticeable bulge of the mysterious letter in his coat, decided to follow him, wondering what scheme this peculiar new figure might be plotting. Vincent, well aware of being tailed and amused by the young woman's barely concealed attempts, spun around and tipped his hat. "Mademoiselle, it appears you have taken an interest in my morning walk. Or is it this letter that captures your fancy?" he asked, waving the envelope with a sly smile. Taken aback by his directness but not deterred, Margot matched his grin. "Monsieur, perhaps you require an accomplice? I see potential for a lucrative partnership." With a playful bow, she gestured towards a quiet café. Over steaming cups of café au lait and flaky croissants, the pair devised a ruse to pass Vincent off as the elusive Monsieur de la Fontaine, in order to claim a mysterious inheritance, mentioned briefly at the edge of the letter. Their ploy took them to a grand mansion at the heart of the city, where they spun tales of distant travels and fortunes made and lost, all while the real Pierre de la Fontaine remained blissfully unaware in a far corner of France. With forged documents prepared by Margot's surprisingly skilled hand, Vincent charmed the old steward managing the estate, convincing him of his identity. For weeks, the duo enjoyed the luxuries afforded by their deceit, attending lavish balls and sampling fine wines. However, their fortune turned one fateful evening when a genuine acquaintance of Pierre's visited, immediately recognizing Vincent's flawed impersonation. Forced to flee under the cover of darkness, Vincent and Margot escaped with nothing but a chandelier's worth of crystals and the clothes on their backs. Undeterred by their narrow escape, Vincent chuckled, "Ah, Margot, we may have lost the fortune, but think of the adventure." Margot, looking at the shimmering crystals in her hand, couldn't help but agree. "To our next misadventure, then," she proclaimed, raising an imaginary glass. Together, they vanished into the maze of streets, plotting their next scheme, forever chasing the thrill of the con, the chase, and the cunning escapes. And so continued the misadventures of Sly Vincent, each more audacious than the last, eternally attuned to the pulse of Paris and its endless opportunities for the shrewd, the sly, and the spirited.